Kia ora everybody, welcome back to the channel and to the colouring community's favourite video of the month, completed pages. I am super excited to take you through all of April 2025's completed pages. If you are new here, my name is Amy. I am a colourist based in Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I really like colouring. And as such, I have quite the video to show you today. So we'll go over stats at the end, but I will let you know right now that the month of April was my most productive month ever, with 62 completed pages. I am in shock at how much I managed to do during the month of April. And yes, there were some simple pages in there. There were some easy little projects. I made a bunch of bookmarks, but there was a lot of big detailed pages as well. And I really enjoyed my month of colouring. And so I have quite the video for you today. So I really recommend that you grab a drink, a cup of tea, a coffee, a water, a snack, and grab your colouring, because we're going to be here for a while as I take you through everything I coloured during the month of April. So I'll start off by showing the 2 whips that I created. I did not quite finish everything I started in the month of April, but that happens. So the first one is in Neko Story of Precious Cats. I have a group on Instagram that I have created where we are working towards slowly working our way through this book. We choose a page that is for 2 months and work on that page as a group. It's a very low-key, no pressure sort of group. There's a lot of people that may not do certain pages or just take their time with a page. It's really, I don't want it to be like you have to complete this page in 2 months, right? Like, the option's there, but also if it doesn't roll for you, it doesn't roll for you. And so the page for the last 2 months has been this treehouse page, which, as you can see, I have not quite finished. I was not in a intense mood last month. I did try to push myself to do a couple more details with Inktense, but I just wasn't feeling it last month, and that's okay. These things will happen. I don't want to push myself if I'm not feeling the page, so I didn't finish it, and now I'm okay with that. I can tell you right now, I'm not going to work on it during May, because May is Mermaid, and yeah, this isn't mermaid related, so this will probably wait until June. We have chosen our page for the next 2 months, which is this washing page with the bubbles, which I could kind of get away with Mermaid for the bubbles a little bit, but it's not really enough that I would start it in May. So I may go ahead in June and start colouring this one, or I may carry on with the treehouse one and finish off the treehouse one. I may do both. But yeah, I love Neko's Story of Precious Cats. This is one of my favorite books in my collection, and one of the few books that I can see every page colored in this book, and I intend to finish this book. So very grateful to the group for helping me get through that and get a little bit more done in here. So we have done the pirate page as a group. The treehouse was our second one, and this bubbles page will be our third one. So yeah, loving that. And then the other whip that has been created is in Friendly Little Squirrels in the Residents of Antique Town by Mona. Now this one was a buddy colour with the beautiful Lisbeth, and we have decided that we'd like to do the challenge of the big overview of the town, and I love how it is going so far. I have both a set palette for my squirrels. So I have a established palette for the squirrels, and I do want to keep that sort of vintagey vibe in the book. And then I do have like a little inspiration sheet that I created and some ideas for how I want the town to look. So I've got this plan sorted as well. And I did make a little bit of a start, but again, I really wasn't feeling intense this month. And pretty early into April, Lisbeth and I just kind of were chatting, and we were both like, we're just not feeling it this month. And so the decision was made that we're just going to put a pause on this buddy. Again, we're not going to get to it in May because of Mermay, and so we'll look at coming back to this one in June. So that is another whip that's been created, which is Friendly Little Squirrels in the Residents of Antique Town. But apart from those two whips, everything else is a finished off page, and I am pretty excited to go through this with you. So I'm going to start with a book that I know a lot of people are waiting to see, and that is the work that I did in Dark Fairy Tales. Now, I'm going to put a timestamp here of where to skip if you want to skip this book, because I am aware Dark Fairy Tales is very gory for a lot of people. Not very gory, very dark for a lot of people. I have done 2 pages that I have put blood into, so if you need to skip, please feel free to skip. But if you want to see what I have done done 14 pages in Dark Fairy Tales this month. Something about this book just got me, and it's surprising because I'm not someone who usually does a lot of dark coloring, but I think it's because Kirby's work, like, this is without a doubt the best artistic work Kirby has done yet. Artistically, I think this is Kirby's best book. Is it my favorite book? No. I still love Mythomorphia for just the emotional response of that book. It was my first ever adult colouring book, so it's pretty special to me. I still think Alien Worlds is my favourite. I love Worlds Within Worlds. I love Fragile Worlds. I love Mythomorphia. I actually really like Imagimorphia. I still think Alien Worlds is my favourite of all of them. But I will concede that Dark Fairy Tales is his best artistic work. And from an artisanal point, the way he does his drawings in here, top tier. Cannot argue with it being the best skill-wise. Fantastic. And it's amazing to see how he's growing. But there are pages in here that I don't think I'm ever going to be able to colour. And that stops it being a favourite book for me, despite the fact that I did 14 pages in a month. But yeah, the reason why I managed to do so many pages in here was also the technique. Because what I ended up doing was using water-based markers. And I love using water-based markers. I think they're underrated. I'm talking super tips and cheap brush markers. And I think a lot of people underrate them or don't realize that you can actually achieve a lot with water-based markers. And so I often use them when my hands are giving out on me as a means of colouring with a tool that is much easier because there is no pressure. I don't have to put pressure like I do with pencils. And so I pulled out the water-based markers and I started working on Cinderella here. This is my first one in the book. And I went in with a very specific plan. You can see once again I have a little plan sheet. I did quite a few of these plan sheets this month. Elm Colours really inspired me to do these little plan sheets. But I knew when I read up on the Cinderella tale, the French version, I think it's Perrault, Cinderella wears a gold and silver dress to the ball. So I knew I wanted to do that. And then I thought it'd be really nice to have that contrast between dark and light, because it is that contrast of death in Cinderella. And so I knew I wanted her golden and light and with really pale hair and gold details, and then death in like dark bluey purple tones, and then everyone else in sort of like a dark masquerade vibes. And I really feel like I did pull that off. I really like how this came together. So as I said, this is water-based markers. I did use a yellow Pablo pencil just to do a little bit of the highlight on the edge of the coat. I did pull out a white Posca just to go over parts of her hair to really lighten that up. And then there is some Jelly Roll sparkle for on her dress here, and a little bit of gold metallic Jelly Roll just for the jacket and the crown. But yeah, it's primarily water-based markers. And, you know, no bleed through. I'm trying not to spoil the next page. But yeah, but because I was working on this page and I was showing a few people, because a lot of us were into dark fairy tales, I had a lot of questions about how I did this. And so I ended up doing a live stream. I ended up doing multiple live streams of dark fairy tales. But one Friday I did a 5-hour morning stream and then went to work and then had a 5-hour night stream where I worked on the red pages. And I spoke a lot about techniques then. I talked about different ways that I color these pages without the bleed through. Like, mostly it's about letting layers dry and not like just building up your tones. Lots of working with the streakiness of the markers, because the markers are going to streak, so use that to your advantage. Use that to build texture for the ground or the streaks of the fur, or, you know, dabble in and pointillism to create bush texture and texture in the sky and texture in the clothes. So yeah, lots of technique discussing in those two videos, and I'll try to make sure to link them down below if you want to see the process of this and pick up some techniques. But the cool thing about that was a lot of people have actually messaged me about picking up super tips, picking up water-based markers, giving it a go. You know, I know one person messaged me and went, I've done 8 Kirby's this month because of this technique. And I had another person who messaged me that they had completed their first ever Kirby because they tried this technique. So it's actually really fast. I knocked out these 2 pages basically in a day. Yeah, I was basically knocking out a page a day in this book, because I also only got it halfway through the month of April. So it was in the last 2 weeks that I did 14 pages. So yeah, absolutely loving Dark Fairy Tales by Kirby Rose Arms. And I'll go from the start because it is, I don't remember the rest of the order. I know I did Cinderella and those 2 red pages pretty near the start, and then yeah, we just went deep diving in there. So yeah, we have Rapunzel, and I thought Rapunzel would be really cool to do with red here and that contrast of red here. So yeah, water-based markers for everything, and then I did use a little bit of Jelly Roll Sparkle to do all the little roses on here. I did also pull out Posca to put some stars in the night sky. And yeah, just red and purple felt like a fun combo to blend together. So this is what I'm meaning about working with the streaks. You can't always hide the streaks. This is too big of an expanse to hide all the streaks. So I decided to work with the streaks, make sure they were all vertical, and create sort of like a cloudy aurora borealis, like these northern lights in the sky. So that's what it kind of reminds me of in the sky there. And I did have a little bit of bleed through from the next page, but the only bleed through was actually on the palm of the sorceress's hand here, and it was red. So I was like, cool, that kind of looks like blood, and now getting attacked by sharp thorns. So I just added in more. But that was the only bleed through I had because I wasn't good at letting the layer dry. I get impatient. I am not perfect at this technique. I still forget to let my layers dry sometimes. So this one again is all water-based markers, lots of like the little dab 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 pointillism to kind of blend together different tones. I was thinking originally about using some paint pens to outline these clouds, but I didn't, and I'm actually okay with that. So it's all water-based markers except for a little bit of a glitter brush pen on the edge of the dress here, just a little bit of subtle sparkle. And then, so you can see, once again, there is just one tiny drop of bleed through there, which is very easy to cover up, where I obviously went a bit heavy saturating the background there. So, and then all these mermaid pages I'm looking forward to doing in Mermaid. Then we have the first 2 pages of red. I did end up completing the entire story of red. So yeah, water-based markers, a little bit of Jelly Roll. I actually ended up pulling out the wrong colour for her dress here, so her embroidery, excuse me, oh my goodness. Oh, that's a good sign. Her embroidery is a little bit more intense than the rest of it, but that's okay. And yeah, I thought the yellow would be a nice contrast and a bright pop with all the darkness. So, but I love the idea that, you know, Grandma has made red the hunter, and now red is the hunter. It doesn't get saved by a hunter. And then, as I showed before, red hunting the wolf. So I did use the water-based markers. There is a little bit of Pablo that I did use just to bring out a couple of highlights on the trees, and of course the jelly roll to do the edge. And then once again, there is a little bit of blood there that I felt like just finished off the page. So there's technically 3 pages with blood because I forgot about the sorceress page. And then this one is the one that is the reason why I need a trigger warning. Nope. No, it's not. It's the next one. Or maybe it's the one after that. I don't know. There's one coming up that there's a reason for trigger warnings. But we have 3 little pigs. I love the 3 little pigs page. I chose this one just because I wanted to do orange. I really felt like I needed to do an orange page. So yeah, I thought the 3 little pigs was quite cool. I really like the color palette here. And like the color of the wolf with like the really subtly green gray growths on him. Yeah, really proud of my palette here. Alright, and then I think the next one is Cinderella, then the next one is trigger warning. Yeah, so then it's Cinderella, just as I showed before, which I think is still one of my favourites. I just love all that sparkle. I couldn't not give her sparkle on the dress. Like, how could I not? And then we have the Wizards of Oz trio, which, yeah, this one I went a little OTT with all the blood splatter, but I kind of like it. Like, yeah, this is so dark and gory for me. This is so what I don't normally color, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I really loved this color combo I did for the sky, so that's what I pulled back in to do the red dancing shoes. It's actually the same cloud color. I just really enjoyed it here. So I thought it was a really cool color for the sky. It just really worked with this bright green. So yeah, we've got that one. And then I think the last one is Jack and the Beanstalk. Yeah. Which I did try a little bit of Faber-Castell connector pens here, and I forgot how intently they usually bleed through. So, but again, it's not hard to cover up that little bit of yellow. But yeah, then we have Jack and the Beanstalk, which is one of the reasons why I think this book is Kirby's best work artistically, because I just think the angle of this is amazing. And the way that it turns into the giant is just so good. A bit hard to show on camera, but I love the depth here. And so yeah, that is all of my pages in Dark Fairy Tales. And then I did do one more Kirby because I also did a page in Mythic World. Following that same technique with the water-based markers, I did 4. Now, I coloured this one in. I was like, I like it, but it feels like something's missing. And then I saw somebody else's version of this page, and they had coloured the tops of the cliff green. And I realised that was just it. There's too much brown. I should have done the top of the cliffs green. I was like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I make the hills green? Why didn't I, like, separate the sides and the tops? But I just made everything rocky barren. I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, I still kind of like it, but I think if the tops were green, it would just provide a little bit more contrast, would tie in the green of his outfit and his lightning so much better. But yeah, I'm just like, why didn't I do that green? I don't know. But yeah, I'm still pretty pleased with it. I do like the effect I created. I like the movement in the clouds. It again is all water-based markers with a little bit of a glitter gel pen for the lightning. And yeah, it was really nice to get another page done in Mythic World by Kirby Rose Arms. Alright, so I got my craft on a little bit this month, And I made a lot of bookmarks. I am trying to use less post-its. I've had some post-its that have changed colors on pages on me, and I am not a fan of it. So I made some bookmarks, and it's a technique that I've done before for some of these, and then I had some that are specifically bookmark printed. So I'll start with these ones, and these are actually all freebies by Marotta. So let me just quickly sort out my bundles. So Marotta has a Facebook group where she does put out some freebies, and this month she released 5 free unicorn pages, and I thought they were absolutely gorgeous, and I was like, they are so cute, and I thought it would be really fun to just color them. But then, as I said, there's a technique I've done before where I print them out and color them and, you know, turn them into bookmarks, and I was like, well, I do want to replace all my post-its with bookmarks, and I need to make a lot more bookmarks to do that. So let's go ahead and do that. And then while I was there, I also looked at some of her other freebies, and so I got this cute little bee and a couple of bunnies. So we'll go through each of these. So we'll start with the bunny. Of course, the artist bunny is blue glitter because it's me. And so this one I just used alcohol marker and then a little bit of Mod Podge sparkle. And then after I've coloured in the page, I will take the page and I will stick it to some scrapbooking card just to sort of thicken it up a bit and make sure it's really sturdy. And then I just take clear book covering, like Contact, and just cover it front and back, and then trim. Obviously I trim the scrapbooking paper in the original image to size, cover it in Contact, and then trim around the Contact. And that's basically how I make these little bookmarks, and they work really well. I think they're really cute and really fun, and it's a great way to use some like freebies or do some easy colouring and use it for something a little bit more practical as well. And because I colour so much, like for example, this month having coloured 62 pages, I need 62 bookmarks for that. Or if we take away the bookmarks, I need about 50 bookmarks or so. But then on top of that, as well as having completed pages, I also have my pages picks for next month, so I have another 50 pages. So I need 100 bookmarks basically. So if you all know any like Etsy PDFs or free bookmarks that like are bookmarks, maybe I should get them. If you know any like someone that's selling like 30 bookmark designs, I might need to grab one. If you know of any, let me know down below. So we have another bunny here. Again, this is just flat colouring with alcohol marker, and then I use a little bit of metallic gel pen and of course some more glitter on the flowers, which I don't know how well they'll show up with the shiny plastic. And then we have our Buzzy Bee, which also has like a iridescent shift colour, so it's like a blue-green on the wings. Then glitter on the shoes and the little bag here. So those were her older freebies, and then we have her unicorn freebies. So we've got this cute little one here. Again, it's got like a bunch of glitter, alcohol markers. I did pull out pencils to do a little bit of shading on the unicorn and then shade in the hair. There is another little colour shift on the horn and the hooves as well. Yeah. And then this one, I believe this one originally had wings as well, but I actually removed the wings because I was like, that's a lot. So yeah, alcohol markers, pencil for shading, then a little bit of paint pens. That one's got some stickles up there as well as like the rainbow Mod Podge sparkle. This one here, again, alcohol markers, glitter, paint pens, like metallic paint pens. It's just playing around and having some fun with it. Sorry, they're so shiny because of the Contact. This one, so with this one, I knew I wanted a tassel. Same with this one here. This is the reason why I cut off the wings of the other one, because oh my god, cutting out all those wings was a nightmare. So with these two, what I did was same thing, coloured it in, stuck it to the cardboard, but when I cut it out, I left extra room at the bottom because I knew I wanted to put tassels on these two. And then on the extra at the bottom, I wrapped around some washi tape so it would be extra stable. then covered it in contact, and then used a hole punch to punch out a hole. So it's gone through quite a few layers here, so it's a little bit more secure as we put the tassel on there. So yeah, and this one I did do 2 different types of washi tape because I thought the 2-toned would be quite cool. And yeah, these are a bunch of little glitters, and don't know why that's showing up. Yeah, those are the 8 Mariola Boudic ones that I made. And then I also had a PDF from Pencil Butter, dear friend of mine, Pencil Butter, for her kit, which included a bunch of bookmarks for all these eyes. Now, these ones I haven't finished turning into bookmarks, but I have finished the colouring, so I am counting them as complete. The reason why I haven't finished turning them into bookmarks is, as you can see, my contact is not really sticking down here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do because it's the Mod Podge Extreme Glitter because I did so many coats of it. They are quite secure without it because the Mod Podge is a sealer. So I just might not cover these ones. I did, however, did put some paper on the back and was stickering the back. So yeah, these ones all have sort of like this shimmery iridescent back. And I do want to put like a ribbon or a tassel or something on there. I haven't decided yet, but I don't know if maybe I just need to find like another type of contact, or I just need to put this under like a really heavy book for a good amount of time so it like really pushes down, or just flag the contact altogether on this one. But yeah, as long as I make sure that that backing is like really well secured down, because this also peels right off the backing. It will take the stickers with it, but yeah, not quite sure what to do there yet. So that's why I haven't quite finished these ones. But I have this green set that I did, and we have our pink and our blue ones. You can see just how ridiculously glittery these ones are. So fun. For all of these, I used alcohol markers and then Pablo pencils to shade. I did pull out stickles in some areas to add extra glitters to like the center of the eyes so that they're a darker glitter. I did also pull out paint pens to go over the eyelashes to make sure they were like pop of black, then like little white dots and eyes and stuff like that. And then we have the yellowy orangey star one, and then this red one here. And all of these I've left like a little extra on the side because I do plan on tassels or ribbons or something there. But yeah, as I said, I haven't finished making these bookmarks, but it's mostly just what do I do? So, and I am leaning towards just not covering these in contact and just making sure that that backing is sealed on nice and secure, and just having them straightforward. I could even put a layer of Mod Podge glitter over the backing as well if need be. But yeah, those are all the bookmarks I made this month. So 8 and 5. So that was 13 bookmarks, and that was 13 of my pages. So even if you take away the 13 pages that are technically bookmarks, it's still a lot of pages regardless. But yeah, 13 of them were these bookmarks. And I'm just keeping them in there till I know completed pages and stuff. Okay. Let's grab some of the smaller books. So this is the Junimo colouring book. And I have to be careful because, yeah, these are pages that's really loose in here. This book is actually the Stardew Valley official colouring book. It's based on a in-game object where the little character Jazz has a colouring book, which is the Junimo colouring book. So this is the official Stardew Valley colouring book. It's Kari Fry is the illustrator, and she does some gorgeous work in here. And I coloured in this little one here of Concerned Ape with the Junimos colouring in the colouring page. I just thought it was so cute. And I just really was in the mood to colour it one night. So I did. I coloured it while watching a Stardew stream as well. So this one is just alcohol markers and Pablo pencils. Just really, really straightforward. But very sweet. Very cute. It's such a cute little book. The perforation is strong, as you might be able to tell. I've already had to seal one page in, and I do have to now seal in this one. So I might need to find like a clear file or something to move these pages into, because yeah, it is a bit Fall Party, but it's such a cute little book. So yeah, that's the Genemo colouring book, Stardew Valley colouring book by Kari Fry. Another little book we have is Magical Woodland. This is by Kate Pellerin, which is such a cute book. And I ended up doing this little page here, and this was a little bit of a gouache experimental page. I had a stream where I invited on my dear friends Smalt and Pencil Butter to be on stream with me. They are both amazing gouache painters, and so I brought them on to help me out because I was very kindly gifted a set of Holbein gouache, and so I asked them to come on and give me some tips and help me out. And this is what I came up with. I definitely, by the end, I was feeling a lot more confident painting the three of these, because I started with the bushes. I should have started with the mountains, but I started with the bushes, and then I did the pathway and the mountains, and then I did the characters. And by the time I got to the characters, I felt a lot more confident in how I was blending and how I was bringing colors together and to do all those details. So yeah, it's not perfect. I'm well aware it's not perfect. There's a lot of things that I can do to improve on this, but I learned a lot of skills along the way, and that's the main thing. And I am very proud of the outcome, because I can see how I've grown just within the page. And now I'm like, if I do some more pages, how much more am I going to grow as well? So yeah, this paper is not the best for water, and I absolutely saturated it, but I do love how it came out in the end. So yeah, that is my page in Magical Woodland by Kate Pellerin. I have Fuzzy Friends by Vivi Tinter. And I did this page here. This cute little reading page. And so for this one, I used water-based markers, and then I went on top with some Pablo pencils. Fairly straightforward, just water-based markers as a base. I did a little bit of shading with them, but the paper just does not like shading. Yeah, no, the paper really did not appreciate multiple layers of markers. It didn't even really want one layer of the markers, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, the water just seemed to chew up the paper a lot. So, and that's where I pulled out pencils to try and fill out a bit more of it. Even with letting, like, it wasn't even letting a thing of letting layers dry. It was just one layer, and the paper wanted to chew up. So, yeah, but I did my best while using the water-based markers, and I do like how it turned out. Obviously, like, alcohol markers is much smoother in here, but I had the water-based markers out, and it was fun to try, and I still really like how it came together. That is my page in Fuzzy Friends by Vivi Tinter. And then I did a couple pages in Cozy Corner by Coco Wayo. So I did this one here. And this one is really quite flat colouring. I didn't do a lot of shading. There's just some highlighting. And that was kind of what I was just wanting to go for. Just a bit of simple, flat, bold colouring. And I really like it. I really like my colour palette I chose as well. It's very bright and saturated. And I love my little kitty down here as well. I just think the kitty is so cute. So yeah, for this one, it is alcohol markers, and then Jelly Roll. I think it's Moonlight for the matte colours, and that's what I use to do all like the highlights and edges and stuff like that. And then the other one I did was this page here with the cute little octopus plushie. Sorry, I just need a little bit of water. A lot of talking. So for this one, I use water-based markers to base, And I did do a bunch of shading with the water-based markers as well, because this this cozy corner is actually one of the Penguin produced coloring cocoa wires. So the paper in here is a lot thicker and a lot different. So it actually handled the water-based markers really, really well. And then I pulled out, I didn't pull out the jelly rolls. I just pulled out random gel pens that I had and used that to add in some like glitter details and little highlight details. I did unfortunately smudge when I put this red down. I did smudge it, so there's like little streaks of red in a couple of places. But other than that, I'm very pleased with how it turned out. I think it's super cute. It's such a fun little color combo of a room to do as well. Yeah, I really thought that one came together really well. So those are my 2 pages in Cozy Corner by Cocoa Wire. I did a page in Fae Fantasy. Now, this book is by Artmaker, which is also by Hinkler, and it is unfortunately an AI book. I'm going to put that up there. It does say on the back here that they do create the images using Midjourney. When I brought this and 2 other books that are in the series, I did not realize at the time. I try to avoid buying AI generated art books, but I had brought the books, I couldn't return them, and I didn't want them to go to waste, so I still color in them. I just like to put out there that, you know, these are AI books, just so that everyone is aware. So I did do a page in here, which is this one here. They're quite fun because it's AI, there's a lot of like leaf designs that were in the background, and they're really hard to figure out what's going on. So they're quite fun to just get messy in and experiment in. So that's what I did here. I used alcohol markers to base, and then I pulled out shimmer sprays and iridescent watercolors, and I just created a bunch of splatter around. And then I also got in some new glitter brush pens from Kmart. So that's what I was trying on like the jewelry and the headband and bits and pieces around. There's some pencils for shading, as well as some paint pens just to put some specific highlights on her eyes and lips. And yeah, it's quite a fun, like messy, but I don't know, I like it. I think it's fun. It's shimmery. It is quite hard to see the details, but it was already hard to see the details, so it kind of makes it more purposeful instead of just bad AI art. So yeah, I think it's cute though. I like it. And it's also an autumnal palette, which is not something I tend to lean towards. I'm not someone who colors autumnal colors a lot. So yeah, this was an interesting experience, but I like how it turned out. So that is Artmaker Fae Fantasy. I found a new book this month, The Epic World of Tolkien. This is a chunky colouring book. I believe it's 192 pages according to the official page count. It's a book. And I've been looking at ordering it in because I was like, this looks really, really interesting. And then I found it locally and I found it for $20. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's actually not bad. So I ended up grabbing it, and I mean, talk about value for money, because 192 pages. And yeah, they do give the illustration credits here as well, so you can figure out who illustrated what as well. So it's a combination of Victor Ambrose, John Davis, Mario Mazzara, Ian Miller, and Andrea Piparo. I'm probably butchered that. But yeah, it is produced by Thunder Bay Press, and really, really cute. So I did page 71. Who did 71? Mario Mazzara is who illustrated the page I coloured. And I did the Tree People of Lothlorien. And I just really love the simplicity of these 2 characters standing there with nothing in the background and just a little bit, like it felt quite graphic, and that's kind of what I wanted to go with the colouring. And so I did pull out the water-based markers again. I had some new brush tips that I found at the same place I purchased the books, so I used those to test out here just how they worked. And of course, being tree people, it felt appropriate to do lots of greens. I probably should have done the armor brown, more like leather armor rather than gold. But I don't know, the contrast of yellow and green just really appealed to me for this one. I don't want to do it all green, but probably should have done it green or greens and browns. But hey, you know, it's my fantasy book, so I could have done them pinks and purples if I all wanted to, even if it was the tree people of Lothlorien. Who's to say that the trees aren't pink in certain universes? Yeah. But quite a simple one, but quite fun to just go quite graphic with it. And yeah, I like it. Simple, easy, but just really fun. And there's lots of really gorgeous illustrations in here and so many pages. So this is going to be one of those books that will probably take forever to colour in. But yeah, if you have the Epic World of Tolkien and you want to do some buddies in it, please hit me up because I would love to show a lot of love to this book. And get a lot of pages done in here. And then while we're speaking of Tolkien, they have the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy colouring book. Now, I've been on the hunt for this one for quite a while. This is an older colouring book. They recently reproduced this with the Lord of the Rings colouring book. It's a lot smaller and it's got like a purpley blue cover. And it is not the same book. I have the Hobbit version of it, and it has a bunch of these sort of illustrations in it with like the character's name and a bit about them, but it doesn't really contain a lot of scenes, so it's not what I liked. Admittedly, I'm not even a big fan of these ones in here. They are cute, but I love this one for the actual movie scenes. Like, I want the movie scenes like that. So this is why I've been on the hunt for this specific book, because I knew it had the movie scenes in it. And on my local Facebook marketplace, someone listed this and another book for sale for $4. And the other book has been used and honestly it's just going to be donated to like a free book library for a kid to colour in, because I don't want the other one. I paid the $4 just to get this one, which was completely unused and made me very, very happy because I've been looking for this book for a couple of years to add to my collection. So super, super pleased about that. And so I started with Bag End. Now I do need to go around the border, and I think that will help clean up the page a little bit as well and just set the page in place. But yes, I did colour in the Arrival at Bag End double page spread. I love how this one turned out. It is once again water-based markers plus a whole bunch of paint pens for all the flowers in here. Now I know technically on the movie still there is no flowers in the bushes here. And I know some of these colours are wrong, especially in the cart here, because I didn't even look at the reference of the cart. I just kind of went for it. But I wanted to add in colour because I was so sick of green. I got so sick of colouring green on this page, and I will admit that I rushed some of this because I was so over the green. I probably should have grabbed green Poscas or paint pens and done some highlighting in all the grasses here. I probably should have done some flowers over on this side. Like, there's little details that I probably should have done. Like, it feels like there should be a couple of flowers here. And maybe one day I'll go in and just dot in some more paint pens and just fix up those little areas. But at this point, I was genuinely so done with this page and so done with green that I was like, nah, I'm calling it done. Yeah, so, yeah, I'm very over green at this point. I was over green by the time I had done the double page Jack and the bean sprout spread, and then I did another page that involved a lot of green, and then I did this page that involved a lot of green. I was like, no more green, no more green. And I'm so glad it's mermaid, and now I get to make myself sick of blue for water. But yeah, I am very pleased coming back into it a couple of days later, having done some pages that don't involve green and going, oh, okay, yeah, it's cute, I like it. So yeah, water-based markers, a little bit of various paint pens, and that's it. And it's a double page spread and my first page done in the Lord of the Rings movie trilogy colouring book. I had a buddy. I had a double buddy in Island Escape by Millie Marotta. I have a little group with Perfection Cider and Shannon of She's Crafty. She's Crafty 20 or She's Crafty? I think it's She's Crafty 20. It will be on screen anyway. And we worked on a gorgeous page together of this bird. So theirs should be showing up now, and I love what the two of them did. They created such beautiful birds. The details that they got in there, absolutely stunning. And so every couple of months we look to try and do a page in here. It's a great way because I would probably forget about my Millies if it wasn't for Perfection. I do a lot of Millie buddies with Perfection, and I'm very grateful for it because I do enjoy them every time I do it, but I don't gravitate towards grabbing Millies. So this helps me get quite a few more Millies done in it. And then Shannon does just beautiful pages, and it's always glorious when they come in as well. But this is my version here, and I really started enjoying painting Millie. So I painted this big snake one recently, and I just really enjoyed the process of painting Millie. So I decided to do it again. The background looks really faint on camera, but it's got a bit more of a green tint. It's got this green, gold, white iridescent shift, and it's real pretty and super sparkly. And then on top of that I used gouache paints to do the bird and these strange flowers. Now I kind of don't like the tail. I think I should have done something more for the tail, and that's the only part where I'm like, the tail's not really working for me. And I think it's because it's so light on this light background, so it makes it a bit hard to like pop out. But other than the tail, I'm really pleased with it. I have a lot of fun just painting these and just kind of going for it. So yeah, I always forget about it until I get in here and start painting, and I'm like, oh yeah, I really enjoy that. So thank you again, Perfection and Shannon, for the wonderful buddy colour. I very much enjoy it, and I look forward to our next one. Oh. Right, where's Wally's Dragons and Dreams? This was a new colouring book this month, and it's a really fun little colouring book. I thought it would be a really great book to just sit there with fine liners and just slowly colour in. And I did complete a double page spread in here, but I did not complete this page alone because my nibblings helped me with the page. So we did this Night Frights page, and it was really fun. It was really fun to just sit there and colour in the little characters, and they both helped me out. Two of my nibblings together helped me out, so some of it's been coloured by the younger nibbling, some's been coloured by an older nibbling, and then some's been coloured by me. I did also find Waldo, or Wally, so he's been coloured in as well. But yeah, we had a lot of fun doing this. They did not find the stickers at the back of the book, so would have been all over if they found the stickers. So yeah, right now my stickers remain intact. But yeah, had a lot of fun working with them and doing this page, and I always love when I do a page with my nibblings, and it's just super duper special. I happened to be looking after them one day this month, and I brought this along just in case to keep them entertained, and it worked well. So yeah, that is Night Frights from the Where's Wally, Dragon and Dreams colouring book by Martin Hanford. I ended up doing a few Theresa Goodridge pages. Yeah. I actually had 4 new Theresa Goodridge books arrive in this month. I had so much beautiful happy mail and gifts this month. Like, absolutely incredible. So grateful. But yes, quite a few Theresa Goodridge colouring books came in. So my collection of Theresa Goodridge has expanded. I kind of do want to get all the Theresa Goodridge books. Like, I'm not far away from having every one of them. So it's like, maybe I should, you know? Maybe I should. I'm so close to having all of them that maybe I should. I say that, and there's actually still quite a few more because she has a lot of books. But yes, I got Main Street, which is one that I've been wanting to purchase for a while. So I'm very grateful to have Main Street. I really like, I don't know, I just really like her shop fronts. I think they're really fascinating. And I coloured in this one here, this pizzeria, again with water-based markers. So yeah, I didn't pull out any paint pens, any pencils, any, like, anything else at all. I did debate doing it, but I was just kind of happy with it as is. And it's like, you know what? We're just gonna leave it like this. Sometimes a page can just be a page. So that was the pizzeria in Main Street. And then we have Summer Scenes. And I love this one. I can see myself colouring a few of these around Christmas and trying to make them Christmassy. Because, of course, Christmas in Aotearoa is summer. So I think it would be really fun to take some of these summer scene pages and turn them absolutely Christmassy. Because they feel like summer Christmas pages. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But I did do the bunny page because Easter. So this was my Easter page. And once again, I used water-based markers. And then I also used a little bit of I got these glitter brush pens from Kmart. If you know the glitter brush pens, you know the ones I'm talking about. Great sets. They're so fun. I've had so much fun with them this month. So I used those all for the center of the flowers and the butterfly. I do think maybe I should have pulled out a Posca paint pen and done all the seeds on the strawberries. I feel like it's maybe missing that. But I'm still really pleased with the overall outcome. I love the little brown bunny. I love the texture that I got on the fur of the grass. And yeah, I just think it looks really sweet and delicious with all the strawberries. And it was just a fun little page that I did because, of course, April was Easter. So felt like a bunny page was very appropriate. And of course, shimmer. Always love a sparkly, shimmery, glittery page. So that is Summer Scenes by Theresa Goodridge. And then I have It's a Cat's World, which is my favourite Theresa Goodridge book. And I wish she would do more dedicated cat books. I love her kitty cats. They're so cute. And so I did this page here. So once again, no, this one was based with alcohol markers, I believe. Yeah, alcohol markers for this one. And then I actually pulled out my Classic Colours by Faber-Castells and my paint pens and some stickles and some metallic glitter pens and different bits and pieces, and just had a bit of fun doing some shading. The shading's pretty light. It was pretty straightforward, but I don't know, I was just really in the mood to colour these light, delicate little kitties with all these colours around them. And of course I got a little glittery butterfly. I should have glittered the snails as well. I did do the butterflies, but yeah, I should have glittered the snails. The snail. The snaily whaley. Yeah, I really do like colouring the kittens in here, and this one was just super cute and super fun. This one was done right at the start of the month, so yeah, I actually had forgotten that I had done that one until I looked at my totals and was like, oh yeah, I did one in a cat's world. So yeah, those were the free Theresa Goodridge colouring pages that I did. And then I have Matchstick Mouse Spring, and this one was also a gift this month, and I am super grateful. This is my first Matchstick Mouse that isn't a PDF that I've brought off the Ko-fi for Morgan O'Brien, so it's quite nice to have like an actual book of it. It feels very, oops, sneak peek, it feels very different to have it in book form, so yeah, I quite like it. But all my other ones are PDFs. And then, as you would have seen by the sneak peek, we did this little cow page. I saw this one, I was like, I have to colour the cow. I have to colour the cow. It's so cute. There was like a cute bunny page. There's so many cute pages in here, but yeah, I saw this cow and I was like, I have to colour the cow. I just love it. So yeah, little matchstick mouse and this little cow. So cute. So I used alcohol markers to colour in the base of it. Then I did use Faber-Castell Classic Colours to do all the shading. There is some paint pens to also bring in the clouds in here, and like various metallic paint pens and paint pens to do lots of details around here, and then Mod Podge Extreme Glitter to do all the glitter in the background there to make the clouds all sparkly. And yeah, I really like my palette here as well, which is just purple, green, and brown. It's just a sweet little palette. So that is my page in Matchstick Mouse by Morgan O'Brien. Love it. I host a hashtag every month called Fabulous Freebies, where I find a illustrator on the internet who has put out some gorgeous free colouring pages and host a monthly group buddy colour where we can all participate by colouring in this page. It's sort of designed to be a way to do sort of group colour buddies and, you know, participate in hashtags without having to go out and buy specific books, but also to illustrate some really fabulous artists out there that have put out these amazing freebies so that you can get into colouring without having to buy books, because I know money is tight for a lot of people right now. So it's designed to be basically an accessible colouring hashtag. And this month we did the beautiful Jen Racine. And it was very cool this month because Jen actually contacted me about the hashtag and said it was a really neat idea, and she really liked it, and she also participated and coloured in her own freebie, which is so cool. So yeah, that was really lovely. I've had a lot of, like, when I've chosen the monthlies, I've had the illustrators, you know, like that, or, you know, like reacted to it on Instagram, but this is the first time someone's contacted me and gone, hey, this is so cool, and, you know, thank you for choosing me and actually participating, which is so freaking awesome. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with Fabulous Freebies this month, and oh, there were so many gorgeous pages and a lot of new participants too. So there will be a video coming out where I will do a wrap up for both March and April's Fabulous Freebies, and I'll do a gallery slideshow of everyone's pages, so that'll be coming out soon, so keep an eye out for that. But this was my version of the page. So we did this astrology kitties page, so it had each of the cats as a star sign, as like little minis, and I thought it was so cute. I loved the cats, and I knew straight away I wanted to do this galaxy effect on it. So I used a bunch of acrylic inks and shimmer sprays and iridescent watercolor to create that sort of iridescent glittery space background. And then once that was all dry, I used a gold and white paint pens to go over all the line works to create and add in all these stars, and yeah, just create these sort of galaxy kitties. And I love how this one came out, and not just because it is so ridiculously shimmery and iridescent, and like, to me this is a nebula in space. This is such what I imagine a nebula looking like all that iridescence. Just love it. Love, love, love. So yeah, definitely absolutely love how that one turned out, and I'm very grateful for everyone who participated in the hashtag. This month we are doing a gorgeous octopus by the wonderful Claire Watson Illustrations, and I'll insert a little thing here about it. If you'd like to participate, you just go to Claire Watson's website, which I'll make sure I link down below, grab the image and download it, print it out, color it in, and then post it on Instagram, and make sure you tag me in it and use the hashtag AWA Fabulous Freebies. Tagging me in it guarantees that I see it, because sometimes Instagram is a bit of a poop and we don't always see everything. So yeah, if you tag me in it, I will definitely see it that way. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing the octopus this month. I do love my water friends in May, so it feels like a very, very appropriate one to do for May. Alright, next book, the giant book. Whew. So this one is another Morgan O'Brien, and this is Any Day. I love Matchstick Mouse, but Any Day just has my heart. I actually prefer Any Day, and I think because a big part of it is Any Day. If you squint here, Annie actually looks like Amy. Amy, my name, my spelling of Amy. So I've always joked that this is Amy Day, and it feels very much like things that I would do. So I very much treat this as Amy Day, and this is Amy as a blue bunny going through and doing things. So you can see I have a consistent palette for Annie / Amy. And yeah, I just keep things consistent all the way through, and I'm loving how it's coming together. I am getting quite a bit of the first Any Day done. I recently did purchase Fall and Winter, which is also in this folder, which is why it's so chunky. And I do want to basically carry on with the same palette all the way through, keep it consistent, and just have lots of gorgeous Annie / Amy. So we have this dressmaking one here, and love this one. So what I do for each of my pages is I actually use super tips, but I will color them onto a palette and pick them up with a brush and then drop them in place, and that is how I get sort of like this watercolor effect. And so I have set colors for Annie, but then everything else I make up every time. So yeah, super tips to color in the majority of the page. This one I did also use washi tape to do all the dress, as well as like little scraps of fabric around and bunting, and like even some of the rolls. It's all washi tape. And before I put the washi tape down, I used a super tip to like shade in underneath, and then stuck the washi tape on top, and then used a fine liner to go back over the lines and cover up, redefine in the lines and create the dress. And then I added on these little stickers as well for like the belt and up here, because I just felt like it needed a bit more. Plus I covered the whole thing in Mod Podge Extreme glitter, so it's like also extra glittery and sparkly, and I freaking love her dress. I would rock that dress. And then for what she's wearing, I also pulled out, it's kind of like the pink camo pants. I don't know why, it just originally I think I was actually doing little hearts, but it's kind of morphed into like a camo print design with also like a little bit of iridescent. So I can get behind pink camo sparkly pants. And then it's just a bunch of paint pens and gel pens for doing like little highlight details around. And then the other one that I did was this washing one. So once again, I used water-based markers to colour most things on the page. I did pull out washi tape to do her dress here, and then because it was greens and golds, I thought a yellow and white apron would tie in really, really nicely. And then I also used glitter on all the flowers, and a paint pen just to go over the lines to help create that sheer effect of the washing the sheets. So yeah, those were my 2 pages in Any Day. Oh, you're going to let me get back in. I've got new fake nails on to try and grow my nails back out, and I don't normally do this shape, but I thought I would try it because they get a little less caught on things. It allows me to have long nails without getting caught. So yeah, we're trying, we'll see. If it helps me grow out my nails again, it's fine. All right. Oh. Fairy Art Grayscale by Selena Bennett. This one is one of the easy colouring books where I just grab alcohol markers, and because it's heavy grayscale, I just kind of flat shade in, and then maybe add some pencil on top, maybe some splatter, maybe some glitter, maybe some paint pens. It is quite simple colouring, but a lot of fun. You can see I've done quite a few in here. I did a lot during February, and then I did a few more this month. So I did this Believe page here. Once again, alcohol markers for a base, and then I did use the Faber-Castell Classic colours to do some shading. I pulled out paint pens for the Believe, and then I have this like loose chunky glitter gel that I just decided to put on top of her wings and her dress, and even her eyes and her lips in the centre of the flowers. It is like, it's not the most secure of glitters, so you can see it's also spread out there. The little glitters always get a bit loose, so I might have to go over the top and seal it down. But yeah, that was fun. And then I did bubbles. I love the bubbles page. I think the bubbles one's really cute. So alcohol markers, and then some paint pens to do different colors in the bubbles. There is like also a bit of like an iridescent shimmer on the wings, and then of course the Mod Podge sparkle for all the bubbles themselves as well. So glossy and sparkly and pretty, and pencils to do some shading on her too. And then this one here is just alcohol markers with a little bit of pencil shading, and there's a little bit of like a red shimmer and a metallic gold, but it's pretty subtle in its shimmer, so it's pretty flat, but I actually kind of like it as a contrast. Like, I'm still tempted to come in here and obviously glitter her wings, but I do like how kind of matte this one is. And then I did one more, which was, nope, that bookmark was already done. I did the autumn fairy. Yeah, kind of feels like these three could be good bookmarks, so I should really photocopy the extra set of those at the back here and use those to make some more bookmarks. But yeah, I did this autumn fairy, so I just pulled out like an autumnal palette of browns and reds and oranges, and of course gold goes beautifully with that, so I used a gold metallic pen around the outside as well, a little bit of pencils for shading, and of course lots of Mod Podge extreme glitter for in here. So yeah, those were my pages in Fairy Art Grayscale. And now there's really not a lot before I complete the first set of images. I think there's like 5 or so images left before I get to the second set. And so I have to decide if I will consider it complete having the first set of images done, or if I want to do both sets. Because of the nature of this book and how easy they are, I am leaning towards having to complete both sets to consider the book done. Because they are just sort of great mindless colouring, and I don't mind actually doing a bunch of them again. But yeah, that was kind of a lot of what I did during February, and then a couple more last month in the month of April. During the month of May, I actually had a mermaid version of this as well, so mermaid grayscale colouring, so I'm planning on using that a lot during mermaid as well, and doing a bunch of colouring in there. So that is Grayscale Colouring Fairy Art by Selena Fennick. Okay. Dark Fairies. I am in a wonderful group with a bunch of colorists, and we have been working on this book every once in a while. We'll choose a page and I'll work on it for the month. So we've done a couple in this book. I've got one to catch up on in terms of the group, but it's an October Halloween page, so I'm going to do that during Halloween or October. But this month a call was put out to the group of like, is there any page that anyone would like to suggest or that would like to work on? So I actually put my hand up and said, hey, there's a page that I would like to suggest, because I thought it was a simpler page. I was like, I think it's a cute page. I think it's a fun page. It's also a simple page. It had no background, and I felt like that lent itself to a lot of possibilities. And that is the Puppet Master. I love this one. I think this one is so cool. It's such a creepy doll vibe, with the fact that she's like chained up, and yeah, I just thought it was really cool, and I really wanted to color it, but also there was no background, so it was like perfect for just splattering in some stuff in the background or painting out the background black, as I did here. So yeah, I used acrylic paint and shimmer spray in the background just to add that splattery effect. And then for the fairy herself, I coloured it all in with water-based markers and used some metallic gold gel pens to do a bunch of highlights. I did use Faber-Castell Classic Colour to also shade in her skin, because I wanted a really light, slight tint, but very close to like that porcelain doll white porcelain colour. And then for her hair, I actually just grabbed white Poscas, and I had one that was nearly running out, so it had a little bit of ink, but it was quite translucent, and that's what I used over the hair to sort of block out those lines but still leave them there. And then for her wings, I used again the shimmery pink, glitter pink brush. So yeah, lots of fun. I love how it turned out, and I'm so grateful to the group for letting me sort of dictate this month and go, yep, we want to do this page here. So yeah, this month I've got 2 pages marked in here for Mermaid, because we are doing one for Mermaid, which is the Song of the Siren page, which is super cute. But then I also noticed that there was we've already done the Serpent of the Sea page as well. I noticed that there was the Sprite of the Swamp page, and I do water-based friends during the month of Mermaid, so this is also valid for Mermaid. So I might try to do both of those this month. We'll see how we go. But that is my page in Dark Fairies by Tabarith. Gorgeous book. I have a new book this month. This was Tales from the Witch's Cottage by Hannah Carlson. And this was another beautiful gift this month. And I coloured in this little gorgeous candy witch. She was so sweet, and I just was like, I want to colour her all candy-like and make her like a fun, colourful little witch. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I used iridescent watercolour in the background, so the background's super shimmery. And then Pablo pencils to colour her all in. And then I used jelly rolls to do all the little details. It's a mixture of like shimmer and metallic, glittery, matte. I was also gifted a big set of jelly rolls, so I was just trying out a bunch of them as well. And yeah, just having a lot of fun and trying out different things on this page. And I really love how it came together. I even gave her like little glitter freckles, so her face is looking a little orange because of the colour I chose, but I wanted to give her little glitter freckles. Don't know how well that shows up. But yeah, this is a really cute book. And I'm looking forward to getting some more done in here. Very grateful for the gift, because I only had a couple other Hannah Carls on, so it's nice to have a couple more, have another one in my collection. Because I had Tales from the Forest Kingdom, Daydreams, and Summer Nights, I think is my other one. So yeah, really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed having another play with Hannah Carlson. So I don't show her enough love, so I definitely want to get some more done in this gorgeous Tales from the Witch's Cottage book. Speaking of books I don't usually pull out, Joanna Basford, Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. Very shocked that this one made it out this month, but I was just looking through my shelf one day, looking at different pages, and I pulled this one out, and this page here was just blank next to this completed page. And I realized that if I completed it, then I had the first page done, I had these 2 pages done, then these 2 pages would be done, and then I'd still need to do that one, but the room is done. That one just needs a border done. Like, it's a good little run that would be done, and even carrying on, like, there's a couple pages there, so it's not much to do a couple more pages in here and then have like a good section at the start done. So I was like, okay, all right, let's get in here and let's do this. So I used some water soluble crayons in the background just to create this blue, and then I used a mixture of Pablo pencils, paint pens, metallic gel pens, glitter pens, and just went to town colouring in the little doodles and doing some little details around. Now I am tempted, just because I have used Mod Podge Extreme glitter here, that maybe I should also glitter this side to make it tie in, but I don't have to. Maybe I just need to bring in a little bit of glitter in the center, or a couple of items of glitter. It feels like this and this aren't cohesive right now, but maybe if I add in a layer of glitter like I have here, it will feel cohesive. So I am still reflecting on that, but I am happy to call the page done and have these 2 pages done side by side, which is really cool. And then yeah, maybe I will get the motivation to come in here and do the next page. But that was my page in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly by Joanna Basford. It's been a while since I pulled that one out. Shooting Star by Maria Troyel. This was another beautiful gift this month. I'm so grateful. Yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. I have two Maria Troyel books, and I don't pull them out as much as I should because they are so floral focused, and I'm not the biggest floral colorer. I've talked about it before. They're not my favorite things in the entire world. But seeing Shooting Star and just seeing how much she's moved on from florals and just how varied the pictures are in it, I was like, this is absolutely gorgeous. And it does make me really want to get her Fairy Tales book as well. I think I would love her Fairy Tales book. Yeah, so absolutely love this book. Definitely want to be showing it a lot more love. But there was one page that I saw and I had to mark it immediately. And that was the Mushroom Cats page. I saw the spread and I was like, we're colouring Mushroom Cats. And so I did go in, once again, with a little bit of a plan. I really wanted to do rainbow candy inspired vibes. I've got a lot more pigmented, but I did pull off that rainbow vibe that I wanted, I felt like. So for the sky, I used iridescent watercolor, and some, like, you can see again how shiny. And then I also used some on the cat itself because I thought that would be really fun. So the cat has like a slight pink shift as well. And then I used Prismacolor pencils to colour in all the like eyes and the mushrooms and the details, including the clouds. So I blended lots of different colours together to make the rainbow clouds. And then I used metallic paint pens for the stars on the mushroom. And I did pull out a white Posca and do like really big white dots at first on the mushrooms before I put stickles down, because I know in the past when I've used stickles on top of Prisma, sometimes it can change colour. So I thought maybe if I put the Posca down first, it will prevent that colour change. It did not, as you can see. But it kind of still works. I'm not entirely mad at like the odd pink spot on the mushroom. It still kind of works. So I'm happy with it. I actually really love this page. I just think it's fun. I do kind of want to paint around the outside. I think like a really dark blue or dark purple would just really set these pages off. But it's so sweet. I really like it. So those were my 2 pages in Shooting Star by Maria Troyel. And now we are down to the last pile. We're getting there. Mythographic Fairy Wonderland and Mythographic Imagine. I managed to get 2 Mythographic pages done and they were both whips, which is amazing, like to get whips done. Especially this Imagine one. This whip is from 2023. Sorry, just getting some more liquid. Yeah, it's from 2023. Very pleased to have this one done. So this is by Joseph Cadenbang. It is one of the older mythographics. And I did this robot girl here. So originally, way back in 2023, I had used acrylic inks with some salt in the background to create that textural effect. And then I had used Inktense pencils to colour in the flowers and some leaves. And I'd also based the robot in like a blue-grey sort of colour. And the robot really blended it in with the background. It was really hard to tell the difference. And then I pulled out like a metallic green to do this cord, which is very similar to the green of the leaves. And it just felt so samey and I was struggling to see the difference. So I just kind of put it to the side and had it come back to it because there was just so much chaos that I couldn't make sense of. And so I pulled it out and I was like, I'm just going to sit here with water-based markers and just colour in some of this chaos. And so I had like a green that was similar to the leaf colour. I had a bright green, I had a bright pink, I had a purple, I had a grey. And so I just went in there and I coloured in these sections back here. And like I didn't define it, I didn't try to figure out what they were. I just coloured in sections and it worked. If I could clearly see what an item was, like the cogs, I tried to keep them separate, or like the headphones, or like these flowers. I tried to make them a feature. So I used the bright green or the bright pink, which I went over with iridescent. But if I couldn't tell what it was, I just colored it in green or purple, or, you know, if it was just like a shape in the background, it was just like, cool, just color it in. So I did that, and that allowed me to finish off this section and fill it all in. And then I coloured in the butterflies, pinks and purples, and also put some iridescent on there, so it tied in with the iridescents across here. And then I just had left this robot, which, as I said, you couldn't really pick it out from the background, so I used Poscas to shade and Prismacolors to shade, and then I also, yeah, Prismacolor pencils to shade and paint pens to really highlight that edge to sort of bring her forward and push her out from the background. And it worked. Like, I'm really pleased with this outcome. I am so glad to have this very old whip knocked off. And yeah, I can actually do this again, because this one is in the Mythographic vault, artist vault, which I do have, so I can redo this page, and I would love to do it with better understanding now of how this page works. I think the result would be very, very different, but for now, very happy to just call this page done. So that is Mythographic Imagine by Joseph Kurtenbang. And then we have Mythographic Fairy Wonderland. And this whip is from this year. It was a buddy colour with the beautiful Candace of Happy Catastrophe, my dear friend Smalt, and the lovely, oh my goodness. I was going to say Lisbeth, but it's not Lisbeth. I will insert the name here. I will grab my phone. I will grab my phone and have a quick look, because it's going to drive me bonkers that I can't remember the name, and I feel really bad. Becky Hicks 33. That was a third person. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so it was a beautiful buddy color with all of them, and then it just so happened that I didn't quite get to it. I didn't get finished, and it was sitting there for a while, and I've had a vision for it for this whole time. I just haven't had the spoons to come in and finish it to the vision that I saw. So originally I just had it based with alcohol markers, and you can see the purple and the grey and the green and the brown. So I had some very flat colours on here as a first layer, and then I got in the spoons to do it, but I also had an idea that I really wanted to try, so I came in and tried it. So of that base layer was alcohol markers and then ink tint, for the greys. I'd used various greys to make different tones in the grey for the rock. So what I did was I pulled out my water-based markers. I pulled out a black and I pulled out a grey, and I tried to make sure they were slightly warmer ones. And I coloured over all the background with the black water-based marker, and all the rock and the leaves and the branches with the grey, leaving just the kitten. And then I pulled out water, clean blank water, and a big fluffy brush. And I used that brush and I got it wet and I started brushing around. So I started around the kitten and pushing out the colour here with water. And then I started at the edges and I started bringing that black in to shade around here. And it was really cool how it worked, because of course the alcohol marker and the ink tints underneath are permanent, so they didn't reactivate and they didn't move, but the water-based marker that was on top did move, and it created, like you can see on here, a little bit of a ring around the cat and where the water has sort of spread it out, and that it reacted differently to how I thought, but it worked. It was such a fun experiment. And then once it's dried, I pulled out Pablo pencils and just deepened up some areas, mostly lightened up areas, added in like a light cream color so that it looked like the kitten was glowing like I imagined. And then also pulled out a purple pencil so that I could do some little glows from all the little spots that were around. I used Jelly Roll in both the... No, I used paint pen first. I used Posca, and then I went over the top with Jelly Roll glitter to make all these little areas glittery. And then I used glitter for the wings as well. And yeah, there's a little bit of glitter transfer in the background. You can see it up there too, because when I used the water on the brush, there was actually a little bit of glitter residue on the brush. But I don't mind that at all. It feels like more of these magical little sparkles. But yeah, I'm so pleased with it. This was exactly what I was imagining, was that Kitten was the light source and like really dark, magical. So, so happy that this page is done and it came out like I imagined. So again, I still got to go around the border and blank out the border, but just like my lovely little wolf in here with the light effects, we've got a beautiful light and now we've got a beautiful dark. And that's what I was going for in here. So really, really pleased to have that page done in Mythographic Fairy Wonderland by Fabiana Atanasio. And that was my second whip completed. Right. I did a page in A Court of Thorns and Roses colouring book. This is based on the series by Sarah J. Maas. It has a variety of illustrators: Charlie Bowater, Yvonne Gilbert, John Howe, and Craig Phillips. And I did the Spring Court page, which is where my I am so sick of green vibes comes from. So much green. But I love how this one turned out as well. Like, again, I went into this wanting to create a very specific type of feel. If you understand the description from A Court of Thorns and Roses about the Spring Court, it is a court that is forever in the Fey realms. It is forever in spring. It is florally and full of flowers and colourful and warm. And I really wanted to capture that. And I really like how I did do this page. And I feel like I captured what I was trying to capture with this spread. So this is, again, water-based markers. All water-based markers. I did use paint pens and various other, like the flowers are actually like a shimmery paint pen, but there's also regular paint pen in there, especially like on the peacock and in the water, lots of different colors. There's even a bit of shimmer in the clouds. So yeah, a little bit of shimmery color, but a lot of it's just regular paint pens for all the flowers and bits and pieces. But yeah, really, really pleased with how that one turned out. Love, love, love how it turned out. And it's so cool to have a second page done in this book as well. And this came about because I ended up talking a new person into trying to read the series, which got me rereading the series, or rather listening to the audiobook. And yeah, just ended up listening to the series again and reminding myself why I enjoy it so much. That's A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And then the last two books that I have to show you are romantic countries. I have the first tale and the third tale, and I am so excited to show you these. The third tale was a beautiful gift that arrived in this as well, so thank you so much. And then the first tale I got during my birthday haul, so it was an untouched book, so it was nice to get a page done in here. So we'll start with the first tale because I did this one first. This one was right at the start of the month, and I was actually surprised that this was in the same month because I felt like they were in two different months. But I have this Old Rose Tea Room page, and I love how it turned out so much. I'm so pleased with this one. I had such a specific idea in mind for like a tea room in the English countryside. I really wanted to give those vibes, and I'd started colouring in the background like these hills and these trees, and I was like, okay, just colouring in the lines as there. And then I went to colour in the sky, and I wanted to cover up the clouds, and normally I just cover up the shape that was there, but I pulled out a brush paint pen and I just kind of played around with dabbing it on and using my finger to lift it, and I just loved how the clouds came out, and it gave this painterly effect, and it was just like this idea bloomed in my mind. And from there it was like, what lines can I remove? How painterly can I make this look? And I also filled in these branches a lot more. So adding in like lots of extra plants around here and down here, filling out here, just that little bit of adding in of detail. It just felt fuller and richer, and I'm so pleased. Like, I cannot express how pleased I am with this one, how this one turned out. Yeah, absolutely love how it came together. So this one uses Prismacolor. I didn't base. That's another shocking thing about the Airy books. I haven't been basing in them. I've been working directly in them with just Prismacolor. And then I use paint pens, lots of different paint pens. There is a little bit of a gold metallic gel pen for around on the signs and like some of the tea details. But yeah, Prismacolor and paint pens is the primary medium here. And there's lots of little details like the filling in of the flowers, the little lace curtains, and like the little edges of the tablecloths, and lots of little details that I added in that I just really love. Also really love the sheep for some reason. Those make me very happy. But yeah, that is my Old Rose tea room page, which I adore. And then the other romantic country page I did is in the third tale, and that is this massive double page palace garden spread. And I cannot express how happy I am with this one and how special this page is to me for such important reasons. So this was another one that I did end up creating a little bit of a plan for. So I looked around at a few different palettes. I like this color palette, but I always end up going more vivid than I pull pastel palettes and then I always end up going vivid, but hey, it was the idea, like the pinks and the purples and the greens, like that was the vibe. And then the creams, and I really loved this cream dress with all the florals colored in, but white dresses and florals colored in. So that was the inspiration for the dresses. And then all these hanging flowers I really loved as well. But this was a big inspiration when I found this image of this garden, and I loved how it lined up. But then we had these arches to the side, because one thing with this page was you have the castle here, but then you just had all this blank space up here, and it felt empty. Like these arches aren't in there. So I drew in these arches. I added in all these sort of hanging flowers. We actually added in more flowers behind here just to fill this out a bit more. The garden beds have more flowers. I filled out these a bit more. So it's a lot of filling out of things to make them feel fuller. And I just love how it came together. This was really cool as well because as I was colouring it, I did it on stream, and I actually had someone following me. I know Lisbeth was following me live as I was colouring it on stream, and I know a couple people have bookmarked it to also do as a colour along in the future. So I'll try to make sure I also put that playlist down below for you, because I do like name all my colors. I do talk about the different techniques, and I am coloring it live, so it's real-time coloring. The only thing I don't do is I just don't quite finish off these final two dresses on there, just because I had to end stream when I had to end stream. It was so close to being done, so I was just like, I'm just going to finish this off stream. But I explain exactly what I'm doing there, which is just placing color and then putting glitters on top. So yeah, this whole thing again is done with Prismacolor pencils and then various paint pens. And then I also use jelly rolls to add all the glitter details to the dresses at the front here. And yeah, I really love this one. I really love how much I added and how much fuller this background now looks. You can see the arches with all the extra flowers we added in, and then the extra flowers we added to these hanging flowers. And yeah, it just feels a lot fuller. The extra flowers in the garden beds, the extra flowers on the flower pot there, the extra greenery. Yeah, just little touches, but I just feel much happier with it fuller, and it just feels really cool to me. And yeah, it's hard to pick a favourite, but I will say this one's definitely up there. Both my Airy pages this month are definitely like up there for me, because I loved how both my Airy pages came out, and I'm so excited to get some more Airy done. Yeah, I have more Airy to work in as well. Right, where did I put my colouring journal? Stuff everywhere. There it is. So yeah, that was all 62 pages that I completed this month. Holy moly. So let's go over some stats. So Socials, all my socials went up across the board. We have a lot of new friends that join us on Twitch and YouTube, so thank you so much. And Instagram, I actually made a point of posting this month, so Instagram did go up quite a bit as well, so thank you as well to all the new friends that have joined us. The total pages, as I said, 62 pages in total completed. Like, holy moly, just a lot. It was a lot. And of those 62, 3 of them were buddies and only 7 were doubles. I felt like I did a lot more doubles, but no, just 7 doubles. So of my whip list, I had 6 previous whips: Colouring Heaven, Creatures of the Night, Alien Worlds, The Crystals page, Mythographic Imagine, Robot Girl, Walk in the Woods Lilies, Mythographic Fairy Wonderland, The Rock Fae, and then the Fern Calloway Fae Fantasy colouring book. And so I finished off 2 of those, which were both the mythographic pages. I did, however, create 2 new whips, which is the Friendly Little Squirrels and the Story of Precious Cats, which means my whip total is still 6. However, I have knocked off one of the 2023 whips, so that's really exciting to get an older whip done, which means now I literally have 3 whips from before this year, and one of them in each year: 2022, 2023, and 2024. So if I can knock out any older whip, that's going to be fantastic, because my goal is to keep my whips under 10. I used to have almost 60 whips, so to get under 10 is fantastic. I want to try and keep it under 10, but it would be really nice to also knock off these older whips. Now my 2024 work in progress is in Walk in the Woods by Layla Julie. And there's a little star here because I'm actually going to unhaul this book. I have somebody I can gift it to, somebody who actually really would like to colour in the book and would enjoy it. I have just decided I don't enjoy the book. I don't enjoy colouring it. I am not gravitating towards it, and it's just sitting there. So there is somebody I am going to bless with this book. But I did accidentally transfer this whip to the whip list for this month, so it's still on the whip list technically, but yeah, once I get that package sorted, I will take that off and I will be unhauling that. So that will knock out the 2024 whip, which is exciting. So it's just the 2023 Alien Worlds whip, which I don't know if I'll get to that one anytime soon. But yeah, the Creatures of the Night one could be done. That would be really nice to knock that one out too. So yeah, we're getting very close to just having whips from the year that I'm currently working in. And then books. Let's talk books. I had so many gifts come in this month, like holy moly, y'all. So I had 15 books come in this month, and the majority of those were gifts. So thank you so much. So much gifts in Happy Mail. Y'all are spoiling me, and I can't thank you enough. Yeah, I just realised I forgot to highlight one that I had coloured in. So that brought my total of books to 283 in my collection. And funnily enough, just as I had finished wrapping up the month of April, which I did on the 30th of April, just finished wrapping it up, and then a package arrived with 8 new books. So this isn't actually accurate anymore. I already have more books, but yeah, I'd already wrapped up the month of April. So they're going into the May haul. It was another beautiful gift. It was one I knew that was coming because people had gifted into the Ko-fi colouring fund, and I had used that fund to purchase a bunch of books from Japan. So thank you so much for that. So yes, of my 283 books, I worked in 11 previously untouched books. So I was trying to make sure I worked in everything that arrived in during the month of April, but I did not quite get there. There is a Theresa Goodridge Little Mermaids colouring book. I wasn't worried about that one because I know I'm working that one in Mermaid. Tried to get to Winter Wonderland, didn't quite get there. Mythographic Dragon Spell arrived right at the end of the month, and I just didn't get a chance to get there, but there are some water-based pages in there, so I might try and slip that one into Mermaid. And then the Amazing Alphabetical Alliterations, which is a New Zealand Kiwi colouring book. I just didn't get there. So yeah, I worked in 11 new books, and they were all new books that arrived in that month, so I didn't get to any untouched books that are also on my shelf. But that does bring my worked total to 268 of my 283 colouring books, or 94.7%, leaving 15 books unworked on my shelf, which is 5.3%. And that has actually dropped my worked total, because my worked total last month was 95.5%, and now we've gone down to 94.7%. So we have dropped down a bit, but it's okay. You know, there was a lot of books that came in. I also have been warned that maybe there's some more gifts coming in this month. So maybe there's a lot of books coming and I should be prepared. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen this month, and that's okay. That's okay. You can see I've already done quite a bit of a start for Mermaid. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. I have a lot of plans, so you can go see a very big plans video of everything that I want to do this month, as well as new books on the way. So yeah, there's a lot of plans for the month of May. Mermaid is one of my favorite coloring months. I am not necessarily pushing to make it my best month ever, because 62 is a lot to beat, but I would like for it to be a productive month. I have 46 pages here planned, so you know, I have a lot that I'd like to do this month. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all very, very much. I apologize for the length of this video, but I do have a tendency to do longer videos, and when it's a big month like this, there's a lot to show as well. So thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear from you what your favorite pages were. What are you excited about for Mermaid? Just how are you going? You know, any feedback down below. Not only does it help with the algorithm, but you know, I just love hearing from you guys. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. All the araha, or love to you all. Take care, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!